Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it is when you're looking at this. My name is Jack Parks. My channel name is Flamingroove Listens. 2023 has arrived. Let's see, right now they're on the 13th round of trying to elect a Speaker of the House. And I'm going to try and do the Rob Walker Vinyl Tag 2023. First off, my favorite release of 2022, without a doubt, is Angela Straley. Angela Straley is one of the finest blues singers around. This is her first release in 17 years. On the New West label. You'll note I did get an autographed copy of this on her record release party that I was very happy to go to. Angela Straley. Can't beat it. Next up, last band or solo artist that you saw live. Well, excuse me. Recently, I had a real good week. I went to 3 shows in 1 week. Deke Dickerson on Sunday afternoon, the Ivy Room in Albany. X at Great American Music Hall in San Francisco on Monday. And then on Friday night at the Freight and Salvage, my all-time favorite currently spot to go see shows, Ruthie Foster. Now this CD I'm holding up is her 2011 release of Live in Austin. The release before her brand new release that just came out is called Live in Austin also. But it's live with her big band, which is also excellent. The show I saw was promoting her new record that's on my t-shirt there, Ruthie Foster. Loving Time. Healing Time. Gosh, I can't remember anything. I have a copy of this CD, but I don't have it anywhere nearby. She's just an amazing performer and does not have anything on vinyl, as far as I can tell. So, Ruthie Foster. If you haven't heard of Ruthie Foster, YouTube, Google her. She's got stuff around out there. I just think she's just special. First track was the best. Now, first album is the best because it's the only album. This is a band, I only got to see them once. This recording came out in 2018. Band's name is High Up. They're from Omaha, Nebraska. And yeah, I've got my nephew and his wife and his sister-in-law are in this band, so yeah, maybe that's why I like them. But they were a great little bar band. I guess this came out on cassette also, but I only have the CD. It's a band, they were too good, and they did one short tour, and then, you know, takes money, whatever. But I think you can buy a download of this on Bandcamp still. I doubt if you can buy, and you can probably listen to it. I don't think you can actually buy the CDs anymore. So, next question up. Hat trick. My hat trick goes to the next question, which is album that starts and ends with the same letter. Because I don't have a CD, LP, and cassette of the same title, but I got actually more than 3 album titles that begin and end with the same letter. I started out, this was a hard one. And then they kept dropping on me. We got here, Still Crazy After All These Years, Paul Simon. We got here, Never to Be Forgotten, Eddie Cochran. We've got here, the first one I could think of, Napoleon by Carmen Coppola. Interesting story. Napoleon was a film that was made, a silent film that Francis Ford Coppola restored, and they placed it was a 1927 film masterpiece, and it really truly was. I can't remember when, early 80s, I think, at the Paramount, 81 is when this record was made. At the Paramount Theater in Oakland, I got to see a screening of Napoleon with Carmen Coppola, the man who wrote this material, conducting the orchestra that played along with it. Fabulous. Pretty good movie music. And then, they just, looking for other stuff in my collection, I kept finding more beginning and ending. Dick Oxtrock's Golden Age Jazz Band. Dick and Band, there you go, D&D. These guys in the 70s, if you went to a lot of Oakland A's games, this was the band that used to stroll around the ballpark playing between innings. But pretty good old-timey music. Elvis Costello, Trust. There you go, Trust, TNT. And the last one I pulled, because I was like, way too many, Alive and Well in Argentina, Zal Yanowski. This guy was in The Lovin' Spoonful, and then he wasn't, and this is like a 1970s record that didn't probably make a whole lot of sense, but it's good. It's actually a good one. So, next question. Born the same year as you. Well, there's two ways to look at this question, and that is an album that was made the same year you were born, or an artist that was born the same year you were. Well, I can't, since I was born in 1949, the albums didn't start happening until 1951, so I can't do the album born in my year. We'll have to go with an artist born in my year, and there was lots of them, Bruce Springsteen, etc. But Hank Williams Jr. is the one I picked. This is his new record from last year, which is the first Hank Williams Jr. record I've gotten for, 10 or 15, 20 years. Back in 75, I got a record of his that was just great. I can't remember the title of it now, and I bought 4 or 5 in a row, and then it was like, oh, well, Hank is doing something. Well, all right, the next question, most listened to album in 2022. I'm not a techie and I can't show you how to do it, but I bought it on Bandcamp. The name of the album is Dave Seabury and His Heavy Friends with a Little Help from My Friends, and it's only available as a digital download. But Dave Seabury was originally in the Psychotic Pineapple, one of my favorites back in the day. And he's a guy that just recently retired. I follow him on Facebook, and Dave and John Seabury were brothers, and they're both Berkeley musicians, and they're both in Facebook, and they're both I like them. What can you say? So I got this download 3 months ago when it came out, and it turns out it's got the same song 2 or 3 times with different sets of friends, and it's great. It's just go listen to it on Bandcamp. Dave Seabury and His Heavy Friends with a Little Help from My Friends. Next question is artists that you listen to the most in 2022. And an artist that I've listened to the most in 2022 is probably a tie between Maurice Tanny and Emily Duff. And Maurice Tanny, all of his material is only available on compact disc or download. You can get some of it off of Bandcamp. He's also in a band called 77 El Diodora, which I believe is the address of the place that they practice, but I'm not sure in this. But Maurice Tanny, I've listened to him a lot. Also on Bandcamp, there's a lady named Catherine Allen that has released a 5-song EP only on download for of Maurice Tanny tunes, and it is also excellent. But Emily Duff has released a couple of vinyl albums. This was her second one, Hallelujah Hello, and her first one, Maybe in the Morning. And you can buy what you can buy on Bandcamp. Some of her stuff comes out on CDs. Those are the only 2 LPs she's released, and I believe she only got 250 or 500 made of each of those, and they're long gone. But you can buy everything as a digital download. Emily Duff, available on Bandcamp. Singer-songwriter, I just like her a lot. Okay, next question. Australian artist or band? Well, this is easy, hard, what you call it. Let There Be Rock, AC/DC is my only AC/DC record. I bought this when it came out, I think, or shortly thereafter. And I like it. I just, I think Whole Lotta Rosie might be my favorite, but I just never bought any more. I've never seen them. They're a nice band, but not one I'm hardcore on. Surprising purchase of 2022. Okay, well that's tough, but I was reading I bought this 3 CD, 1 DVD Michael Bloomfield set and was reading all the liner notes, and I remembered a movie soundtrack called The Trip. This movie came out in 1970, I think. 69. Actually, it must have been 69 because I had a friend that had this when I lived in Nebraska. Now, I moved to California in January of 1970, so everything from when I lived in Nebraska was 60s and earlier. And I remember a friend of mine had this record, and of course we were into LSD at the time, and this is a great record for it. And I kind of had forgotten all about it. Well, it turns out that this is actually the Electric Flag's first record. When they got together, they went down to LA and made this movie soundtrack, and it is called Music from the Trip, original soundtrack album composed and performed by the Electric Flag. It's really kind of it's an instrumental movie soundtrack, but it's pretty good. I like it. And what surprised me about it was I went to Discogs and I found it, and it was cheap. I got it at a good price. I bought it. It came from the guy who doesn't like to sell on Discogs, Mike from the In-Groove. The same time I'm buying something from him on Discogs, I'm watching him on Rachel telling people, I don't like selling on Discogs, but I've got a guy at the store and he does all that. Well, I bought 3 items from him off Discogs. All 3 were impeccable. They came in clean, in good shape. The Trip. Next question. Artist or band you're complete on? Well, that would have to be Dave Alvin. And this is a record store day from a few years back, looks like 2014. 4 songs on 2 discs. think that's how it works. Yeah, 10 inch, 33 1/3 or 45. I'm not even sure which speed it is anymore. But it came out about 2 months before the album that these 4 songs are on came out. And Dave Alvin, from his very first solo LP through his most recent, which he's just one of the guys I really like a lot. I've gone to see him many, many times. And as far as I know, I have bought every recording he's on. But I'm sure I missed some somewhere. He's on the live tribute to Merle Haggard. That's pretty good. Anyway, Dave Alvin. I'm a completist on him. Next up, 3 records in a row that I guess I can't take my readers off, can I? Great run of 3 albums. Great run of 3 albums is, you know, there's a lot of bands that have done a great run of 3 albums and a lot of bands that have done even longer runs of great albums. But I was going to go with this one right here.